Bonjour à toutes et à tous.
Good morning, everybody.
Nous sommes là pour
We're here
une lumière. Je
for
vais
Oh
vous
Mercy.
présenter
I'd like to introduce the people at the rostrum here. On the far end,
Monsieur Roche-Dizem.
we have Mr. Roche-Dizem.
Mademoiselle Léa Seydoux.
Léa Seydoux, next to him.
Le réalisateur du film,
The director of the film, Arnaud Desplechin.
Mademoiselle Sarah Forestier.
Sarah Forestier.
Et Monsieur Antoine Reynard.
And Antoine Reynard.
Alors je vais commencer. Alors cette conférence se passera en français. Mettez vos
Get the
petites
ball
oreillettes,
rolling. Of course, the press conference will be in French. Please switch off your mobile phones. I'll fire a first round of questions, and then it will be up to you to take the floor. I'll start with the director.
C'est bien. Vous êtes un cinéaste du romanesque.
You like Romanesque films. That's the kind of film you make with Oh Mercy.
Vous avez exprimé, c'est de vous
You said that you wanted
au réel.
to really stick to real life.
Une envie, un désir de réalité, de réel. Alors,
Your real desire was to do something that depicted real life. Why? I just finished a film, which was Ismail's Ghosts, and it was a total fiction. When I think about the cinema, I watched many films that I love. In the press file, there was a film that haunted me when I was writing the film, which is The Wrong Man by Hitchcock, and I decided to lay down my weapons and to film in the city I was born in. I thought about filming things in a hospital, but I ended up focusing on a police station. And this event that did occur in Roubaix. It happened about 15 years ago. And for me, therefore, that's what I was looking to do. But I thought everything has to be totally real. And then the Romanesque dimension came in through the back door once I'd chased it out of the window, so to speak. It's quite complicated for you to eschew the Romanesque element. I was deeply moved.
Là, nous sommes tous les cinq, mais il y avait ce...
We are here, all five of us together, but there were lots of people who live in Roubaix and who appear in the film. The policemen, the kids you see, they all live at Roubaix. And
et ceux qui arrivent au stade de personnage qui sont...
you have the professional actors and the non-professional ones, and the interplay between the two was quite magnificent.
Un phare dans la nuit, au centre de Roubaix, une lumière.
At the center of Oh Mercy, you have the police officer, Daoud.
Commissaire Daoud.
Who are you, Commissioner Daoud?
C'est dur avec moi, là.
Oui.
Non. Bah, écoutez, non.
Non, mais cette figure de compassion absolue et enfin comment
You are a real fighter. How did you slip into the character?
C'est que, en fait,
As we said with Arnaud, Daoud sort of summed up Roubaix in his eyes in any event. He embodies this social link between people, a very human approach to life. He feels that people are born good and that it's society that makes them violent. He never passes judgment. He always tries to understand why people do things.
Ce qu'il recherche en priorité. Donc,
that's what he strives to do in his job.
Cette démarche d'amener à
So what he does in his work is to lead people to confess. He's very gentle. He talks to them. He creates a climate of trust, and people end up confessing.
qu'Arnaud a apporté dans l'écriture. Dans
This is what Arnaud wrote into the screenplay, wrote into the script. You talked about a confession. There's an outstanding scene in the film where the girls confess. You're very openly Catholic in the film. You're searching for grace, and you find grace. Yes, after having come up against many rocks and hard experiences. He graduated first from the police academy. He's really sure about himself, and then he's suddenly confronted with this terrible violence. Thanks to the great grace of Daoud, he manages to pick himself up and keep going. In terms of the Romanesque dimension, we've stuck very, very close to real life with Arnaud. There's no patina. He showed us life as it truly is. In each character and this stark poverty. But that's what makes it even more Romanesque in the film. You have, say, 100 characters, and each policeman has his own story. Each dealer is different, each drug dealer. And I think that's so incredibly real that it becomes Romanesque. It's a bit like Balzac. Maybe we'll talk about this again, but it's a film that is like a funnel. You start with the city, all these lights, and then it grows narrower and narrower. It focuses on the courtyard and then a door, a very dilapidated apartment, and then behind the door there are the two girls. A girl who loves and one who is the loved one. The relationship becomes clearer as the film progresses. For example, the girl who's loved, I hope I'm not mistaken, of course, because it's always complicated in a loving relationship. Léa Seydoux, you are a young girl manages to stand upright. And how did you achieve this? You're the one who loves. How did I achieve this? It was a bit mysterious. She persists, she resists, she never gives way. And sometimes she collapses, yet she picks up her arms and embarks on her combat once again. So she's also a mother, and that I think is very, very important. She's the one who's loved. She's trying to survive. And then you have the woman who loves you. So, Sarah, you are the lover. When you created the character, and even afterwards, how did the two of you... Well, the film is based a lot on the way you look at each other. How did you work on this dimension of the film? Sarah, what about your character, the character Marie? Who is Marie? Well, what can I say? I don't really know. I don't know how to answer your question. How did I go about my work? How did you slip into this character? There's something unreal about the character. There's something when you read the script which clearly has been dreamt up by the director and which really captivates you. It inhabits your brain. I know that this person actually existed, so I tried to delve incredibly deep into the character, to delve into her deeper and deeper every single day when we were shooting. And after about the third day, I think suddenly I understood who she was. She truly existed for me. And there's something quite surprising in the character. It's a bit like what Arnaud was saying. You can't impose a character on someone. I was surprised when I was acting out the character. I was really surprised to see how I managed to identify totally with her. I love
la musicalité d'Arnaud.
The way Arnaud construes the gestures, the counterpoint, the way she talks, the variations in tone. Our voices, our two voices, I found deeply changed in the film. That really struck me, and I found it very beautiful.
Vous êtes d'accord, Léa?
Do you agree, Léa?
Dans les scènes de reconstitution, effectivement.
When you're reconstituting the crime, things are very musical in the way you answer each other. Claude and Marie, as characters.
Enfin, je veux dire, l'une existe parce que l'autre.
Well, the one exists because the other is there.
Elles font contrepoids.
They are like a counterpart to each other.
Oui, c'est sûr que.
So yes, indeed.
Oui, c'est évident que
It is obvious
que c'était avec Sarah que je pouvais, enfin que je pouvais exprimer.
I could only express myself together with Sarah, and I think the same thing happened the other way around. We worked a lot together.
Enfin, moi, je me souviens vraiment d'un moment où.
I remember that after a time, just a gaze, for example, made me break down and cry.
Action, tu te rappelles? Enfin, c'était.
Do you remember? It was a very moving scene when we shot it.
C'était bien.
It was good.
Il y a des questions?
Any questions in the room?
Oui, bonjour et bravo.
Good morning and congratulations to Arnaud and the cast. It's a very powerful film while being very tender at the same time. There's one thing that really struck me. At no time, in terms of policeman Daoud or his assistant Antoine and the young girls portrayed by Léa and Sarah, at no time do you delve into the mobile of the crime. Why did they end up killing that poor old lady? We'll never know. There doesn't seem to be any objective reason for doing it. Why did they perpetrate this crime? Nobody finds the motive, finds the reason, and nobody even really looks for it.
Quand tu présentais le truc, c'est que
Well,
Daoud
is the contrary of a judge. He doesn't judge anyone. I think
Je vais vous répondre en deux temps et je vais essayer d'être bref.
I'll try and be brief in my double answer.
He
doesn't ask why, he asks how. She picks up the pillow and climbs onto the face or the pillows with her knees, and he never asks, why did you do that? He keeps asking, how did you do it? That's what creates the suspense in the film. He's faced with two women who appear inhuman, and he makes them human again. That's the suspense of the film. Why? I wondered that time and again when I was writing the script and working on it. Léa says at one point, death is never premeditated. Maybe they had, if they'd had one more beer or one less beer, it might never have happened. Or if Antoine had understood that the two girls had burnt down the house, he would have intervened and then there wouldn't have been the crime. It hinges on very little. It just happened, as he said to Marie, you've done something really stupid. In this manner, he's not judging people. On the contrary, he's showing how these two girls remain deeply human, and he takes care of them.
Quand il est avec toi, Léa, et qui dit
When he's with you, Leah, he said something that moves me a lot. He said, Claude, now I'm going to go and have to see Marie because I promised I wouldn't leave her all alone. He promised that, and so that's what he did. He really takes care of people.
la dernière institution quand toutes les institutions
It's the last institution that works in this way when all the others have failed. I'm answering at great length because I'm deeply moved by these characters. There's a very powerful moment. Leah talked about the fact that Claude is a mother. When she's in the police car under arrest, and Daoud said, is your son with his father? And she says, no, he's in custody. He's in foster care. And he said, okay, he'll be well cared for. Somebody else would have said, oh, he's in foster care. That must be really tough. But it's good that there is foster care. It's better than nothing. It's this belief that institutions can protect against savagery. And this aspect of Daoud moves me deeply. It's very endearing. Claude says, he says, where's your son? He's in foster care. And he answers, that's really good.
Mon personnage, moi, cherche la rationalité.
My character is looking for rational things. I'm convinced that I'm going to find something rational, but it's totally chaotic, and that's why he goes into a state of collapse. He simply cannot understand this total absence of reason in what happened. Good morning. I have a question not on the substance, but the form. The film comprises a lot of sound and light, but above all, it comprises actors. You mentioned The Wrong Man by Hitchcock. Are there some French references, but maybe garde à vue, taken into custody? For each actor, what was the model that you used? I've already answered. I might add a model.
Il donne à manger à ses chats, non?
He feeds his cats. It's Melville-like. Yes, of course. There's something of Melville in Daoud. And Al Pacino. The model I was given was Al Pacino, and there's a wonderful scene in one of his films. He's in a church which no longer exists. I'm not going to despair if the church no longer exists. I listened to what Sarah and Leah were saying. I'm very familiar, of course, with the French and American cinema, but I have strong memories of a photo which was sent to me by Sarah when I sent her the script. Sarah is very special. Sometimes we exchange letters as opposed to exchanging emails. She just said, yes, and this is a picture of Falconetti in the Joan of Arc film. And I knew Marie, and something incredible happened to me. Claude, well, for me, that was a passionate interest. Okay, people said, why have women lovers? Why not men lovers? But I was fortunate. I met with Leah. She read the text, and I had the impression that we'd seen each other time and again for reading things together, for working together. And listening to Leah, I suddenly understood there was a reference. It was Polanski, Tess. He's also French. It was produced by Claude Berry. She's quite sure that she is noble, that yet she's going to die. She was almost eager to have the death sentence, to be guillotined. It's this way she persists, as Leah says, and then totally collapses all the time and has to pick herself up again. That's why she's sort of noble. So I had Tess and Joan of Arc, so it was wonderful for me.
Question in English, if it's okay for you. Uzbekistan, Saraton TV, Elena. When I watched your movie yesterday, I had a little conflict inside of myself. On one hand, I liked that it was reminding me Dostoevsky and Crime and Punishment, and the fact that one of the investigators is a writer and he's writing his notes brings me to the point that he's the script writer of this film in some ways, and he's like today's Dostoevsky, analyzing what's happening with the misery in the little town. On the other hand, all this forensic stuff that we see every day on TV puts film a little bit down to the TV kind of stories and cliches in our mind as spectators. So I have two questions. One, why you decided to put it so much in the, in the surrounding of the investigators, police station and stuff like that, which is such a cliche for all the spectators, rather than into the more part of the victims and the crime people. We are more on the police part on the time of the film. And then second thing, I have a question to everybody. It looks for me like there are 4 main characters in the movie. So it's not only investigator 1, investigator 2, but it's only 2 girls, also 2 girls. And I'm following the 4 characters in the same time. So for you, who is the main character? 2 questions.
Je peux pas vous dire, ils sont autour de moi. Je vais dire c'est celui-ci, c'est celui-là.
Well, it's all 4 of them. And the 2 girls, it's the 2 girls who killed. I can't answer your question.
Dans cette répartition des tâches, dans la question de la grâce dont parlait,
You have this issue of grace
dont parlait Antoine.
that Antoine was referring to. Antoine is like the narrator of the film.
Les rôles masculins. Vous parliez de crime et châtiment.
We were talking about Crime and Punishment. I didn't want to write a single line before rereading Crime and Punishment, which I read far too young. I said, I'll finish these 2 volumes and then I'll start writing the script for my film. You then talked about what you see on TV. The idea of making the film springs from my belief in the cinema. On TV, you have lots of police stories, but you don't really learn anything much. But it's through films that you learn things. Rushdie is a director, he's a writer. Here's a scene when he's with Sarah in the cell and Leah in prison. And then there's a close-up of Leah's face. I don't know whether it's when she looks at Rushdie or when the women look at each other. He suddenly said, I know everything about these 2 girls. And it's the gaze that was so revealing. And when he goes to see Sarah, he says, I know you so well. The character becomes clear in his mind, and I think that's what the cinema brings.
Sur les caractères, on est du côté des policiers, mais moi je sais que les
In terms of the police staff, the time in the shooting that touched me most was a fleeting moment. It's when I question 3 suspects, 3 different suspects in turn, and you see how human they are.
non pas la pauvreté,
You see not poverty with a capital P, or
les méchants, les gentils,
the cops, the good and the bad. What you see is people, very human people. I question these 3 suspects, one who's a father with kids, another one who is
la grande gueule, qui
a young loudmouth
et qui dit de part et d'autre.
who is a drug dealer, and then a 33-year-old boy with greasy hair who lives with his parents.
Et en parallèle, on voit des policiers qui ont vécu
And then you see the policemen as well, who've worked for 3 or 4 years with a special brigade. They also have to deal with the case of a very young girl who's just been raped. So the idea is not to show this poverty in Roubaix, but the 1,000 different faces of poverty. And I think that's really, really moving. It's really touching. These characters moved me no end.
Bonjour.
Good morning.
C'est Valeria Lotti de
Valeria Lotti, Italian radio. I have a question for the director. It's linked to the question put earlier on about
des éléments en commun avec la télévision.
what there is in common with TV.
En regardant votre film,
When I
que
watched your
le
film,
commissaire
I
me
noticed
rappelait le
that Daoud
Maigret,
reminded me of Maigret or other famous police officers like Montebano in Italy. These are police officers who have their own personal story, which is revealed bit by bit, episode by episode. And in the film, I noticed that there were some similarities, things that are not really examined in the film. So maybe your idea was to make this film like the first in a series with Daoud as one of the main characters, because that would make it possible to explore all these threads in greater depth. Thank you.
La bonne proposition.
That's a really good proposal.
Je sais pas, c'était pendant tout le mixage.
When we were doing the mixing and the
Il y a
editing,
un mixeur qui me disait une phrase que j'aimais beaucoup, Stéphane Thibault, il me disait, mais je comprends pas exactement.
someone said to me, I don't understand. Is that guy a priest or a psychoanalyst?
Voilà, ça c'est mes idiosyncrasies peut-être. Et c'est vrai qu'il a un côté.
And it's true.
Il n'est pas religieux. Parce
He's
que-
not religious. He doesn't need that. As a human being, he doesn't need religion, but he does believe that people have a soul. He believes that he can touch their soul.
Rushdie Lajoux, c'est quand il dit,
And I love it when Rushdie is with Antoine and he says,
innocent ou coupable. Il dit, ah, bah,
do you know whether do you always know whether a suspect is guilty or innocent? Yes. How do you manage? I sense it. I feel it. He can touch people's soul, and I think that is something that you rarely see on TV.
Une fois de plus, je viens de vous dire que
Once again, I've just said
les séries télé n'auront
that a cinema
Et je sais
is in
qu'il y
a
a
privileged
un
position,
travail
has things that the TV will never have. In one of the first questions, we were talking about building up the character of Rushdie. We talked about it on several occasions.
Je sais pas ce que je voulais dire par là, du sourire de Daoud.
We talked about Daoud's smile. I said he smiles, even in the worst possible circumstances. And I don't know why he smiles. You're the one who's going to understand why he is smiling. And once you've found out why he smiles, you'll have become Daoud. There's something mysterious in it. And I like it when the character isn't explained. You know that he's had problems with his family, he's alone, has he had girlfriends, what's his past life? We don't know anything about it.
Je connais son âme.
Yet,
Lui connaît l'âme de sa femme. Moi, je connais l'âme de
I
Daoud.
know the soul of Daoud just as he gets to know the soul of the two girls. And that's what's wonderful in the cinema. That's what we can call grace.
My name is Arnold Schnötzinger from Austrian Broadcasting Corporation. I have two questions to the director, Arnaud Desplechin. First, with all the details in the police work we see in the film, did you want to pay tribute also to daily police work, which normally is not that represented in film, in that kind of movie? And the second, the social circumstances of Roubaix are mentioned in the beginning. 45% live in poverty, 75% are no-go areas. Can you elaborate a little bit about on the social circumstances and how did you research that? Thank you.
Je vous parlais de mes inspirations. Je vous disais à quel point j'étais démuni quand
I said
me posait des questions sur les films français. Parce que
that I asked a lot of questions about French films.
très grand
In
motivation du début, je vous ai parlé du film d'Hitchcock.
terms of why I made the film, I talked about the film by Hitchcock. I might refer to Weizmann's films, which were also very important for me. They were like documentaries. Frederick Weizmann managed to film America and amazing characters. There's a film on the Chicago police. I can't remember the title, but it's quite amazing. There's a film on welfare where you have portraits of people which are overwhelming. That was a source of inspiration for me, more than novels or actual documentaries. The idea is to move away from fiction and to delve into reality. As to the social circumstances, it's what I was saying about Daoud. He's the last pillar, but the same thing could be said for others. It's a strange profession. You really have to believe in it to do it. It's that sentence where he says, "Oh, your son is in foster care. That's good." Daoud loves people.
voilà, on découvre ce désir de
And
grâce.
Louis discovers all this. You discover this desire for grace in Louis and this amazing perception in Daoud. I felt it was very important for me to shoot in a very poor city, but I didn't want to imprison people in their social circumstances.
Marie, elle a fait ça, c'est la
I
question.
didn't want people to say Marie did that because she was poor.
Claude, elle a fait ça parce qu'elle
Claude
était
did this because she was high on drugs or drunk or just couldn't cope.
écrasée par les conditions sociales.
Sometimes you're crushed by social circumstances. Life is more and more tough and more violent. You can see that everywhere. Look at the results of the elections. You can see it in that. Yet there's one thing that the cinema can portray. It's the fact that whatever the social violence is, you do have a soul. I call it a soul, but without any religious connotation.
Ça, le mot de psychanalyste au marché,
That's
il y a un
the,
truc à l'intérieur de
why I
nous.
talked about being a psychoanalyst. There's something that resists. There's something that persists in you, which is your uniqueness. You're not just a social case. You are unique. And there's something I wanted to say. It was a woman who said to me this once. There's nothing stranger than the truth. And truly, when I saw the film, there was something that really struck me. It was the monstrosity of the situation. Things can be so totally monstrous. How can you then grasp grace?
Moi, il y a cette phrase qui m'a beaucoup aidée aussi.
There's this sentence that helped me a lot to understand Arnaud's film.
Quand le personnage
It's when
d'Antoine
Antoine's character says to Daoud,
demande ce qu'elles ont
he asks what they stole in the house, at Lucette's house.
et que Daoud répond
And Daoud
je
answers,
veux pas le savoir.
I don't want to know.
Pour moi, c'est ça le film.
And that's the film for me,
Vraiment.
truly.
C'est ça qui est c'est tellement
Dérisoire.
dérisoire.
It's so pathetic in a way.
Quelque chose que je trouve assez
There's something that I find quite fascinating in the film.
quand on vous voit
It's like a funnel.
la première fois,
When
voisine,
the two neighbors appear for the first time, you think, okay, it's Sarah Forestier, it's Léa Seydoux.
et donc il y a là un moment, un petit décalage avec le
And
principe de réalité. On se dit bon, il y a quand même deux stars qui nous apparaissent.
It's a bit unreal because these absolute stars appear in the doorway and then suddenly something happens. And afterwards, right afterwards, but perhaps thanks to the way Daoud views them, as Claude and Marie, one forgets that they're stars. We're just with Claude and Marie for the remainder of the film. I don't know whether you said that to yourselves when you watched the film, but you sort of erase the glamour. Something miraculous happens. How did you manage this? Well, I did nothing. There's just something very mystery called the passion of acting. It's not a regret in my life, because I don't know how to act. But I think I know how to welcome people who have this passion for acting. With people like Sarah and Léa, it becomes incredibly easy. And they're so powerful as actresses. They can be somebody else but themselves at the same time. Acting is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I don't have that ability. But I've learned a couple of things, because I've listened a lot to what actors say. Léa has this great passion. She wants to portray this woman who resists, who tries to stay upright, this passion, passionate love for the woman she loves and her wasted life. They put a lot of themselves into the characters they portray. I just filmed them. I'm quite proud of one thing. You were hiding away, and Léa was there, and I said, how am I going to film Léa Seydoux? Because the set was pretty basic, and I thought, well, she she won't appear clear in the first scenes. It'll appear a bit hazy, out of focus. And then bit by bit, the camera draws closer and you realize it's her. And you'd chosen a hat, you were smoking a cigarette, and suddenly it was the magic of acting and everything was just right. Similarly, as Rushdie was saying, because I have another question here. Okay, one's used to thrillers, and suddenly we have a very compassionate figure, a far cry from the standard character of a policeman, the kind of thing you see in a thriller. So how do you get rid of the standard way of portraying a policeman, a cop? We talked about models. I had a model, which is Arnaud Desplechin. As he said to journalists, he played out certain scenes. And this idea of having a social welfare officer for the kids, you borrowed from him? No, that's not what I did. I just restituted what he had explained to me. He said to me, okay, I'm going to play the scene for you, and then afterwards I strived to do exactly what he was suggesting, because he's actually a very good actor, contrary to what he says. So I was full of admiration for him. I thought, gosh, I can learn a lot from what he's just suggested. And of course, I drew on my own personal experience as an actor. Basically, Daoud's character is Arnaud.
Arnaud, c'est Marie.
Arnaud is Marie.
Se battre Arnaud, c'est tout le monde.
Arnaud is everybody, actually.
Il y a un personnage de mère que tu fais particulièrement bien, quand même, il faut le dire. C'est-à-dire que quand
of course, when we were reading the script, there was a mother who talked with a northern French accent, and he didn't want to let anybody else play that part. It's Arnaud who did that every time. He's really accomplished. Sometimes one looks for references, actors one may admire, but the reference is just sitting next to us here. Last question. Oh, Mercy, is that a very dark film? Is it a tragedy, or is it something else? What is this film? I think that the film was presented as a thriller by Thierry Frémaux, and I don't think it is. There's no suspense. Well, there is a given suspense, but there's one shoot I love. It's when Daoud turns up and he says, well, that's really easy. They burnt down the house a couple of days ago. They took a crowbar, they went up the stairs, they did this and that. He knows right away. So it's like a film noir. It's like a dark film. It's a film noir. More than a thriller. Is it also a tragedy? Did you go from a melodrama to a tragedy? Arnaud Desplechin is a bit like a Romanesque film. I wanted to make a tragic film. I'd never done that. I've done melodramas. In my career. And then I just love these two little girls so much. They've done something so stupid, so dumb, but they're kids still. So the film is fairly melodramatic because I felt so very sorry for them. They're like sisters for me. What they did is really bad. Killing an old lady is terrible, but they're like sisters for me. So it is a tragedy, but it's a melodrama at the same time. Arnaud, at one point, he said, well, there shouldn't be too many tears, but it does remain a tragic story after all. We'll finish on that note. Thank you very much.